Oh, for those residents of Johannesburg will know that many parts of the city have regularly been left without water. It's mostly due to delays in repairing broken infrastructure, which then leads to issues at the reservoirs. The DA in Gauteng is calling for the setting up of an intergovernmental task team to deal with the crisis. How is that going to help, and how much work can they get done? I'm joined by the DA's Michael Son, of course, the former MMC for Environment and Infrastructure Services. He is now the shadow MMC for Environment and Infrastructure Services. My apologies. All right, let's now get Michael on with us. Hello, Michael. So let's talk about then this establishment of what's going to be this task team to deal with this. What are you hoping to achieve, and how quickly can you achieve it?
Good morning, Gareth. It's certainly always nice to be with you again. Just to give you a bit of feedback, day before yesterday, the Johannesburg DA caucus, obviously requested by myself, we had an urgent meeting with Johannesburg Water to understand what is this problem and what is the delay in restoring water to many parts of Joburg. And again, it's been over a week now. Thousands of residents are still without water. Executives in the city of Johannesburg keeps mum about the situation. We're not seeing any actual work being done on the ground other than statements being received and published by Rand Water and Joburg Water. We're hoping with this high-level delegation or this organization that they are forming, that they certainly will look at the issues that many of the residents are complaining about. I just, about a month ago, issued a very similar statement complaining about the situation that we're facing. It looks like it's going to be a monthly occurrence, if not sooner. My colleagues in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, MP Nico de Jager, is obviously fighting very hard on that level. But I think it's good time. It's a desperate time that we all need to get together, all hands on deck, to resolve this water crisis in the city of Johannesburg.
And timeline-wise, I suppose that's what residents are going to always be worried about, Michael. We can have these task teams and various teams working on this. What's the plan as far as timelines are concerned?
Well, we know of the two problems that's been resolved at the Rand Water's Vereeniging purification plant, and earlier than that, the Palmit pump station. But the problem is that there are still issues, technical issues that are stopping the water flow. I mean, one of the problems we identified during the meeting day before yesterday was the airlocks that's created within the reticulation system. That takes time to identify, but of course, those issues need to resolve. We've given them very, very strict deadlines. We said, it has to be resolved by over this weekend. So we're hoping Rand Water, together with Johannesburg Water and the officials, will work very hard to ensure that we resolve water problems and restore stable supply by the close of this weekend.
And what kind of partnerships are needed to try and make this work? Obviously, the DA is running along with this to try and get the ball rolling as well, but obviously it can't be done by itself. Where are the bottlenecks for you?
Absolutely. I think this is not a political issue. This is a livelihood issue. The bottlenecks, I think, it's stuck between Rand Water and Joburg Water. As you know, Johannesburg Water buys bulk water from Rand Water. So if there are no sufficient communications coming from that bulk supplier, the residents will then be sitting at the end of the tunnel, not understanding or knowing what his situation is and what is the progress. So it is very important for us as the public representatives, as councillors, to ensure that we receive adequate update information to ensure that we can take it to our residents. At least our residents will be able to prepare. And the other very important aspect of this whole crisis that we are fighting is the emergency plan that Joburg Water and Rand Water needs to implement. And again, we are saying this is an all hands on deck approach. We can't sit back and point fingers. That's certainly not what we are doing. We want to ensure that we give assistance, constructive solutions to ensure that our client benefits and don't have to suffer anymore.
And electricity is always going to be an issue with this as well, Michael, and that's something that is going to go beyond the ambit and beyond the ability of Johannesburg itself, because we've been hearing reports that once the power goes out, right now we're in blackout stage 3, if I'm not mistaken, you can get the water infrastructure running, but then it's going to get damaged again because of this on and off with the blackouts. And I suppose that's something you're going to have to try and work around as well. I mean, how difficult is this making your job in repairing our water infrastructure in Joburg?
It is certainly very concerning, Gareth. A perfect example was the rainwaters Vereeniging purification plant. There was a power-related issue. In fact, there was a power failure that caused the water interruptions. And so we are not really seeing any improvement from the Eskom side of the supply. And you can see the domino effect that's now really impacting basic services. At first, we spoke about load shedding. It's now water shedding. And it's very concerning is where is this going to end? So if we don't go back to the source of the problem, in this case, electricity supply and the purification and the pump stations, we're certainly going to see another situation coming up very soon. And this is what we want to avoid. We need to work with each other. City Power is an entity in the city of Johannesburg. Johannesburg Water needs to approach Rainwater and Eskom and say, how can we assist? These are solutions. These are resources. If you're not able to give us stable supply, be it electricity or water at that end, we then suffer on this end. And of course, our residents having to finally pick up the pieces and go through very expensive private installations in terms of providing electricity for themselves. And I just don't know where this will end. So we'll continue to monitor, ensuring that the officials are held to account and doing whatever possible we can to ensure that we bring all solutions to the table.
Yeah, all solutions, even those outside of the box, are needed right now. Michael Son, I appreciate the time as always. DA's Shadow MMC for Environment and Infrastructure Services joining us here on eNCA.